Hey Mum, I just want to say if I die here, it's probably this guy's fault. That's it.
I'm meeting up for a chat with a typical Australian larrikin who's been serving with the Ukrainian Armed Forces since December 2022. Thank you for your service. First things first.
No worries.
What motivated you to come to Ukraine to fight?
Back in 22, the Russian invasion started. I remember seeing in Kiev all the civilians banding together, making Molotov cocktails and fighting off the, second best military in the world. And for me, I saw a people that didn't want to be occupied. They wanted their freedom. And that's what, initially wanted to, made me want to come over here. So the motivation changed throughout the years. Initially, it was to, very optimistic and driven for all these, as you said, democracy, all this and that, the freedoms. And then over the years, just fell in love with the people and the country, and the reasons then kind of changed on a personal level as well for wanting to be here. So, yeah.
Heading into battle for the first time and coming under live fire. Can you remember the first time that happened and what sort of goes through your mind?
So coming under fire the very kind of first time was, pitch black at night. You couldn't see anything. It was just sporadic kind of shots, and eventually everyone got up and got moving, and then, for the next 30-minute, 40-minute hike to position under sporadic kind of mortar fire. Throughout the entire kind of whole, I guess you'd say, infill was just kind of a, oh fuck kind of moment. You'd hear a mortar come down, so you'd hit the ground, and then you'd hit 20, 30 metres away, and then you'd get back up and just keep walking. And that was kind of the first experience under arty fire. And once you kind of got into your little bunkers and your trench systems, you kind of get, a sense of safety to some degree.
Would you say your Australian Army training kicked in, Sam?
That's there's certain levels of the training that definitely did, but then also the job that I was doing here at infantry at the time was nowhere related to my field back home. So it was very much a fish out of the water learning. I was in a situation where I'm under fire and I've had to go on my knees and start reading the instructions on my AT4. I was literally reading the instructions while under fire, trying to learn how to shoot this thing. And so the training helps to a degree, but then there was also a lot of training that either I've had here, I should have had here, but I didn't, so I had to learn on the job. And
how was that recruitment process, mate? Was there a boot camp element to it, or because you previously served?
It's changed throughout the years. When I came here back in 22, there was no former boot camp or anything. It was, rock up, grab your rifle, and there you go. And then it's kind of turned, all the new laws came into place. They opened up more opportunities as far as training for people. But by that point, I've already, been here for 2+ years, and you've got experience at that point, which kind of trumps that kind of thing. So I've had very little kind of official training in the almost 3 years here. So, but as far as new people that come here, there is a boot camp they go through like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. Whenever I've had messages from people with no military experience or anything, they're saying, "Oh, I'm coming over here, I'm going to fight." And they talk about the no experience, and you ask them like, "Oh, well, I know how to shoot a gun." And every person that's going to be coming at you knows how to shoot a gun. It's not a, you can teach anyone to shoot a weapon in a couple of days. That's not a skill set to that degree.
Yeah. So working in a team, obviously you rely on the skills and capability of the other members of your team.
Yeah.
How important is that to you, and the camaraderie? I would say, how long does it take to build that up? Are people generally accepted in a unit pretty quickly from your experience, or?
Well, it's a tough one. Like camaraderie, obviously you build up over time as you get to know people. But I've been at a unit, been on a mission the next day where I don't know anyone's name except 1 or 2 people, and had to fight with them. And as far as their skill set goes, I wouldn't be alive right now if it wasn't for people who are a lot better skilled than me. So who you're fighting with is definitely, it's really the most important thing. You need to be able to rely on the people around you.
And so did you go into the Legion when you first joined? Is that what they do with foreigners who are coming through to fight? Is it we try to keep you together so you can communicate better with, or is it nothing like that?
Not really at all. I avoided the Legion completely for my first kind of 2 years here. I didn't move to the Legion until January 24, so about a year and a half ago now.
Oh, yep.
Prior to that, Ukrainian brigades and whatnot. So there's foreigners are spread. There is International Legion, but there's also all the Ukrainian brigades which do accept foreigners into as well. So it just depends. Every brigade you go to is completely different. There are going to be units of foreigners integrated into Ukrainian brigades as well.
Oh, yep.
So, you won't necessarily be like, oh, you're a foreigner in Ukrainian brigade, so you're the only foreigner there. It could be you've got, your company of 20, 30 plus people, which are all foreigners, but then they work under a Ukrainian brigade. So it depends.
So one thing that keeps coming up online, I've noticed about foreign fighters fighting for Ukraine is the terminology mercenary. Are you able to debunk that myth about how that doesn't and shouldn't really be applying to foreign fighters in this war?
Yeah. Well, obviously, when people are talking about mercenaries, they're usually talking about soldiers of fortune going across to earn a lot of money. Whereas, in my first 6 months here, back in 22, early 23, I earned absolutely nothing. I sold my motorbike, I sold my car, sold all my belongings back home, paid for all my flights, got here, bought my own helmet, bought my own body armor because, I wanted to have something reliable, not rely on whatever's going to be given to me. And then I didn't earn anything for the first 6 months at all. And then coming into obviously being here now for a couple of years, you're earning the exact same as a local Ukrainian soldier would earn. And even then, I'm still paying for my own accommodation here, all my own food, all these kind of things. All your replacement gear, things get damaged or worn over time. And, going out for lunch, all these kind of just day-to-day things. No one's leaving here a millionaire. You're earning the same as the local population. And being an Australian, I'd be earning more back home working at McDonald's kind of full-time. So it's no one is here for the money, at least not as far as the Westerners go. And under the UN definition for mercenary, it's very specific, stating that you need to be being paid more than local forces under those definitions. We have contracts with the Ukrainian army. We're not, private military companies. We are members of the Ukrainian military. We hold our rank. We have our identification numbers, military ID documents. We're a part of their actual military.
Yeah, great breakdown. Has there been a few moments during your service where you've thought this might be it? I might not get out of this. This might be the end. And what sort of goes through your mind when that's happening?
The only situation that I've ever had that was really that, like, I am going to die, this is my final moments, which is from that video you probably would have seen last night, situation where we're out of ammunition and surrounded, no reinforcements and enemy reinforcements coming in, and pretty much accepted during that moment that, I was going to die. Sound like everyone else pretty much made the same assumptions. And it's a weird one because when we're talking about the artillery before, and I was saying like this is a oh fuck moment, oh fuck. When I was under fire in the open, that was very much the reaction. The moment I first saw an enemy soldier and they were shooting me, I was shooting at them. It was just switched off at that point. Like adrenaline kicks in, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay, this is work, and there's no fear or anything during those moments. And then by the time you kind of accepted you're going to die, the adrenaline's still going or it's wearing off. And you get to the point and you're kind of just too tired to care. And I remember I'm not a religious person. I did my little prayer anyway. And all I thought is, okay, before I came here, I've said everything I needed to the people that mattered. I guess that's the end of it. And then I had my, 10 seconds of thoughts and then switched it off and just held my rifle back up and was just waiting. And, that was that really. And then miraculously we all survived. Most of us survived. But it was only that one day, which was, I am going to die here, which was really bad.
Yeah, and yet you've come back. You've chosen to come back.
Yeah.
That's really admirable, man.
Well, I didn't leave after that one. I was still here for another 6-7 months after that before I went home for a couple of months. But it's what it is. I remember after that mission, I got back. I called my parents. I had to cry to them and said, it wasn't so much about the fear because that was that, but it was losing the friends and saying, I can't do this. I'm coming home. And then, your body got tired, had to sleep that night. And the next day, it was all gone. It's like, okay, got a job to do, keep working. That's all it is. You have those bad moments, and then it's just keep on with the job. So,
and the details of those bad moments will remain off camera. Sam isn't keen to speak beyond the YouTube documentary Patches of Our Brothers on Chosen Company's combat in the Donetsk Blast region. Courtesy to his former colleagues' families remains a priority for this intrepid warrior. Looking to the bright side of life, TikTok is a release for many of these soldiers who seem to laugh in the face of death, reconciling their situation through dark humour and light-hearted comedy skits.
Give me all your money. No. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
I've noticed, Sam, you are, from your TikTok account, you are quite a larrikin, and you need to be able to laugh in barracks. Look, and in the field as well. Can you tell me about that?
you need to be able to laugh about all these kind of things. Even in the most stressful situations. It's how you get through the days. Whether you're having a boring day and nothing's happening, you need to be able to have a joke and laugh. And if it's a really shit day, like I've got so many videos of me sitting in a trench with my friends, and we're listening to the missiles get launched in the distance, or the grads, and then we're like joking to ourselves, is it going to hit us? Is it our area? And then all the rockets are just landing nearby, and we're pissing ourselves laughing. You find the good moments in this shit. You go through some outrageous, just crazy situations, and you're just laughing at how stupid the situation you're in, whether it's been sent on a mission with barely any ammunition, and you're like, well, hopefully we don't get attacked. And, that's one of the videos you were seeing. You just got to laugh about it all. I've been one guy, the very first day, like one of my first missions out, well, infantry missions anyway, the guy's arm was completely messed up. He already had 2 tourniquets on it, but they weren't secure enough. And I had to adjust one of them, move him up and tighten it. And I started doing it. He's like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like freaking out, swearing at me, yelling at me. He's like, is this your first fucking day or something? I was like, yes. And then we just laughed. He's like, okay, he ran me through it all. And at the time, it's one of those, it's a life and death moment, it's a serious situation. But then you look back on it, what can you do but, kind of laugh about it. So it's one of those situations. We've been, same thing, leaving areas in a Humvee. Everyone's been beaten up, everyone's injured. And 1K, we've just finished being shot at. And we look in the lake next to us, and there's some Ukrainians sitting in his little boat having a fish on the lake as we're speeding past in a Humvee all injured. And it's just like, all you can say is, like, what the fuck? And have a laugh. It's all you can do sometimes,
Sam, so are there any important messages that you'd like to get back to Australians back home about the war in Ukraine, and any misconceptions that people just aren't understanding, or I guess from that perspective, or
I think as a country, we're very blessed in the way that there's not very many people in our country that has experienced war, especially not war to this degree. Obviously, we've had vets that have fought over in Afghan, Iraq, and been through their conflicts. But as far as, having bombs fall in our own cities and all these kind of issues, and also the kind of the geopolitical threats of just allowing these countries to attack, people seem to think, this war doesn't affect us, and it may not today, but in 10 years' time, the consequences of these conflicts and the aftermath can affect us coming generations, whether it's future conflicts with China, because the alliances and all these kind of lines that are drawn now, as well as simple message of, you can attack a nation and people will not come to defend you. It's we need to be worried about that. We need to be worried that Australia could be attacked and we can't rely on the US anymore. So setting the kind of message now that, these aggressive countries need to be stopped from the moment it starts, I think is a pretty important one. So, yeah. I didn't meet Oscar, but he does fall into that category of the people that have come here with no experience. And it's not something that I recommend anyone. I don't recommend anyone comes to volunteers, whether they're a Navy SEAL or no experience. But obviously the people that come here, they're going to learn a lot. They're going to bring certain skills and whatnot. As you mentioned, there is basic forms of training now, but I still never recommend anyone comes and do it. If they're motivated, they're going to come regardless of what I say. But I've had friends that have fought here for 2 years or 3 years, and they say, I've had enough, I'm going home. And then you're like, oh, I'm so happy you're gone home, mate. You're safe. Don't have to worry about you dying anymore. And then half the time they come back. it's how it is. But it's one of those things. I'll never recommend anyone comes over. People are going to do it regardless, and those people, they need to make sure they know what they're getting into. Very much suggest having skills and experience before you come here. I came here with very basic military experience, and as I was saying to you when we spoke yesterday, especially before I had experience here, I should have always been the dumbest person in the room. And that was me coming here with military experience. So when you're coming here with nothing, it can...
Right, mate. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hope we don't see you in the news.
Hope not.